What's up, everybody? I am Caleb Ochoa, also known as NFL Caleb 22. This is Good Friends, Better Rivals. But honestly, I have to may have to change the name because I don't have my good friend, uh, my
Wow.
so-called good friend, Ferris Muthana. So honestly, I might as well just change it to Better Rivals because he's just always leaving me hanging. You know, but I do have another good friend here with
There you,
me,
there
um,
you go.
Brodny from Lunch Break Hate. How you
So
doing,
thank you.
man?
Doing pretty well. Thanks so much for having me, man.
Yeah. That we're gonna talk about Thursday night football. I think it's the last Thursday night football of the season.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
Which is a blessing and a little bit of a curse, right? I mean, everybody loves their midweek football, but it's usually not very good.
yeah. But we had a lot of football this week.
Yeah.
With all the Monday nights, and Tuesday nights. Yeah, so it's been
Oh, but Ferris
we
is on Twitter though. There we go,
oh,
liking and retweeting.
yeah,
Okay.
good good friend, good friend.
Yes.
All right, we got 49ers Titans. Titans get the win 20-17.
Hmm.
But coming into this game, the Niners seemed like a pretty hot team. A lot of people were talking about them pretty good. They struggled early in the season, then they seem to be on track. And the Titans, kind of the opposite. They kind of started hot, and they kind of were up and down. Been up and down since Derrick Henry went out. They've had some good wins like against the Rams, but then they had a bad win like last week against the Steelers. So it's kind of been up and down for them. And yeah, so going into this, it's been pretty even. I think this was a pretty even matchup,
Hmm.
considering they both play the same way. They both rely on the run game, both rely on their defense. Um, not really led by their quarterbacks that much. So I thought that was a pretty even match, and I think the final result, just a 3-point game, showed that.
Yeah, 3-point game on a field goal with like 3 seconds left in the game too. Like you said, they're kind of mirrors of each other. I think they're both well coached. I think they're both pretty talented. And San Francisco, more than Tennessee, I think they're held back by their quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. They've got a lot of talent. They got a lot of playmakers on the offense in Debo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk. They got a really good O line, and they've got a guy back there who kind of looks the part but doesn't really play the part so much. So and that kind of reared its head tonight as well. He had a couple of turnovers, a couple of costly turnovers when Tennessee wasn't really into the flow of the game. And San Francisco wasn't really able to extend their lead, early on. They kind of let Tennessee hang around and hang around and hang around. And then AJ Brown kind of exploded in the second half. And so here we are.
Yeah. To that point, Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, they could have been up more in the first half. It was a 10-0 at halftime, but
Yeah.
it could have been maybe like, even more than that. Because they faltered in the red zone. They only scored the field goal, and then the other drive Garoppolo threw an interception right there in the end zone. So yeah, they could have been up by a lot more, and that could have been the difference in the game. They could have won it, and it would have been too much for Tannehill to come back from.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Tannehill started pretty bad, but then got going in the second half.
Yeah, he started using his legs a bit towards the end of the game as well. Tannehill was a wide receiver in college. He's a pretty athletic guy. He converted I believe it was a third down late in the game when they were trying to, driving down the field trying to get that field goal. So things are kind of like you said. They were going in opposite directions coming into the game, and now I think they're also going in opposite directions coming out of it, right? Because Tennessee, you got AJ Brown back. Julio Jones is back. He didn't play a big role tonight, but he's back and healthy. And it sounds like they're going to be getting Derrick Henry back for the playoffs, which is a huge deal for them. Yeah. So they're kind of hitting their stride at the right time a bit. Not so much in San Francisco.
So. All right, I was gonna say what's up to Star Drew.
What's going on, Drew?
Delia and
hey,
my so-called friend.
You can't support your own show, Ferris. That's not how that works. That's like babysitting your own kids. It's not a thing.
But yeah, Titans. I really need this game to keep ahead of the Colts. The Colts have been like right on their tail after the win last week. So do you think the Titans are just got locked up, or do you think the Colts can catch them?
I think the Colts lose this on. They're playing on Saturday, I believe, on Christmas Day. I think they lose to the Cardinals, and Tennessee locks up the division. I don't believe at all in Carson Wentz, not even a little bit. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is fantastic. Michael Pittman's pretty good. He's been having a nice year. But Carson Wentz is that guy. Like, he'll be playing fine, playing for everything's going well. He's making good throws, and then all of a sudden he'll just throw a backhand flip straight to a defender for absolutely no reason. You can never count on him to just keep it going, right? So yeah, I'm not betting on the Colts this weekend. I think they fall to Arizona, and Tennessee gets the division.
And on the other side of Niners, I don't know if they go back a seed to the 7th seed or whatnot, because other teams haven't played yet. So, but you're kind of just barely hanging on to that wild card spot. You see the other teams in the hunt overtaking them, or do you think they can hang on?
So we got Minnesota, Philly, and New Orleans all at 7-7, right? So they're all that half game back of San Francisco right now. I'm not sure who Minnesota's playing this week, but Kirk Cousins, much like, they're playing the Rams. Looks like. So no, I'm not picking them to win that game. Right. So yeah, and Kirk in general, he's not a guy that he kind of like Carson Wentz. I wouldn't count on him to win you a big game. He's a little bit different in the sense that he's ultra conservative, and so if you need 4 yards, he'll throw a 5-yard pass. If you need 14 yards, he'll throw a 5-yard pass. And he's not going to win the game for you. He's not going to try to win the game for you. So no, I don't see them kind of rising up and overtaking. Philadelphia, they've been surprising me. I thought coming in, they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league. Honestly, I did not believe at all in Jalen Hurts. They had the whole mess with their former coach, and they brought in Sirianni, and they didn't seem like a very talented team. But man, they're playing much, much better than I expected. But also no. And also New Orleans running out there with Trevor Siemian, possibly Taysom Hill. Like who knows what's going on at quarterback there. Again, that was a big win for them over Tampa Bay last week, shutting out Tom Brady for the first time in however many years. But I think that's kind of where the road ends. The good news for New Orleans, though, is that they do get my Panthers next week. So they can count on at least one more win coming this season. I don't think they're going to overtake the 49ers, though.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I thought it might be the Vikings. I actually was going to pick the Vikings with Dalvin Cook against the Rams. Mm-hmm. But yeah, without him, I don't think they really have a shot there. So yeah, I guess I got to default.
No faith in Madison?
No.
Madison?
So I guess got default to 49ers hanging on. Probably win enough to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And yeah, what's up, Joe? And yeah, I think this is the most important thing of the day. Like, who cares about the Niners? Who cares about the Titans? It's all about the Cowboys. And the Cowboys did clinch a playoff berth today. So
first
I'm
time
very
since
happy about
2018. That. It's been a little while, but I mean, not too bad. Not too bad.
It's not
it's a big day. Big day. Well, listen, I mean, there are some teams who never miss the playoffs, so like a couple years, it's relative, right? It's not that bad of a drought, but it's over now, so that's good. It's good news.
I'm happy. Yeah, but before we get into this week's games, the Pro Bowl came out. The only problem I had with some of the running backs in the NFC. I'm not saying you have to put Ezekiel Elliott. I'm not saying you have to, but he does have better stats than both those two running backs.
He's also the number 2 back on his own team. That's all right though. It's cool. It's cool.
I know you like. He has better numbers than those two guys. But I don't how are you gonna put them over him?
He's the second best running back on his own team, so it's all right.
Well, that's not what the numbers say. That's not what the numbers say.
Yeah, look, I'm not big on the Pro Bowl, because I mean, a third of it is fan voting, and then it's players who have proven, in the past that they don't really take it very seriously, and coaches who, I don't think are really paying attention to other teams outside of their own and their schedule. So it's just kind of. I mean, it's a popularity contest a bit. I mean, I don't think we talk about the Baltimore Ravens on our show every single week, right? Uh, Lamar Jackson got into the playoffs. I believe he's got like 15 or 16 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, something like that. Not a great season so far. He started off really hot and then he hit a slump for about the past month or so. And he got in over Josh Allen, who has 31 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. And I think that's largely because Josh Allen plays for Buffalo. They're not a great team, and it's not a team that people are talking about very often, right? So, I think if there's one thing to change, unfortunately, because I love Lamar Jackson, I picked him to win MVP this season. I think I would have to remove Lamar and unfortunately give it to Josh Allen.
The feeling is mutual, Ferris.
Wow.
Jackass. But all right, man. We're gonna recap some games from last week, and I mean, I'm gonna start with the team we saw one today. They didn't have a good week last week. That's the Titans losing to the Steelers 13-19. Yes, the Steelers kept their playoff hopes alive with that win. It was a messy game.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the Steelers thing this season. Just win ugly.
They're not what you would call a talented, well-run organization right now. They have to beat you with moxie, and that's kind of what they did. They hung around, make it an ugly game, and they've got a ton of experience, and they know how to close out games, and they can do that to teams like the Titans. So yeah, I mean, they've got their playoff hopes still alive for now. I really don't think it's going to last too much longer.
Yeah, I think pretty much the only reason why the Titans lost this game was they fumbled 3 times and threw an interception. That's 4 turnovers. You can't win like that, even against a bad Steelers offense, because they weren't putting up anything. They weren't doing anything against the Titans. They really just getting the short fields due to the turnovers, and that's what helped them score the 19 points. But what confused me in the Titans, like they lost Derrick Henry, but they still didn't really lose that much in the run game. I mean, they still ran for 201 yards without him. So like, I don't understand, like, why can't they just be like they were with Derrick Henry?
It's one of those things. It's like, we always talk about running backs not really mattering, right? And it's true in the sense that you can replace a running back's production really easily. And you're seeing that in Tennessee. They've got, last week it was Deontay Foreman. He went over 100 yards. Before that, Dontrell Hilliard has gone over 100 yards for him as well this season. And, I mean, even if you go back to when Adrian Peterson tore his ACL, right? One of the greatest running backs of all time. They replaced his production with Asiata and Jerick McKinnon. But what you miss is those big plays in the big moments that those guys can't make. There are things that Derrick Henry can do that, Deontay Foreman can't do. And so now you don't have that component of having that special player out there who can make a big play in a big moment when you really need it. So you're just getting the production, and it's not really production that's going to swing a game, either way.
Yeah. But yeah, I think still Steelers just, I mean, they're well coached. I thought Tomlin does a good job over there. So I think they still, I still think they have a chance of playoffs, maybe even the division, because it's just, who knows in that division.
Yeah,
so,
and I mean, and things just keep falling the Steelers' way, right? Like, they've got Kansas City this week, and it looks like Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill might not play. Like, it's an unbelievable amount of luck for the Steelers. Yeah. I think it's going to run out before they punch their playoff ticket, though. I do.
All right. So that's that game. Next game we'll talk about is Saints Bucks. Saints win 9-0. For some reason, the Saints just got the Bucks number in the regular season. The defense shut up Cam Jordan, and rest of the Saints defense just frustrated the hell out of Tom Brady. And you saw how frustrated Tom Brady was at the end of the game because he's sitting there cussing out the sidelines and throwing the tablets.
Screaming at his receivers, everything. Like it was everybody's fault but Tom Brady's fault last week. I was not very happy to see this. I mean, I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but they've got Carolina this week, and I feel like they're going to take out some of those frustrations on that Panthers defense. They got Antonio Brown coming back, so I would not expect another 0-point performance. But yeah, no, you know what you saw there again is that Tom Brady is not, this kind of immortal, quarterback god that they make him out to be, right? Like he can't elevate bad players. He's never really been able to do that. And in this game, Antonio Brown was out for his suspension still, and they lost Mike Evans to injury, and they lost Chris Godwin to a torn ACL. So what was the best skill group in the league went to one of the worst really quickly. And they weren't able to compensate. They also lost Leonard Fournette in game, so they did not have a lot of firepower on offense, and it showed.
Yeah, and Saints did it without their coach. I think Champagne was not on the sidelines for them.
Dennis Allen took over and shut old Tom down.
Yeah, they just did barely enough on offense to score 9 points, but that's what got done. Tom Brady didn't have his weapons, and I think he still doesn't have his weapon. He lost his main weapon, Godwin.
Yeah, he's done for the year.
Yeah, for the year. So I mean that's some for this week. He may not be as good, but
yeah, Antonio is back, and they've still got Gronkowski. And Carolina's a mess. They're an absolute mess. They are adrift right now, and their head coach has no idea what he's doing. He's talking about playing Sam Darnold this week, but not starting him, mind you. Cam's going to start, and he's going to have a major role, but Sam Darnold is also going to play. And, Carolina still doesn't have an O-line. They still don't know how to get the ball to their receivers. They don't have their running back. The defense has shown up. They've shown back up. They disappeared for a while, but they came back. We'll see if they can keep that going, but it's going to be a bloodbath.
Tom Brady was black, he would be eviscerated.
If Tom Brady was black, you wouldn't even know who Tom Brady was because the 6th-round pick is not getting the start for New England to begin with.
Yeah, probably. Well, speaking of New England, they get their ass kicked by the Colts on last Saturday. Yeah. They lose 17-27, but the score that shouldn't be worse than that because they just didn't have a chance in this game, which was the most surprising thing for me because I really, really thought the Patriots were that much better than the Colts, but it didn't show. It didn't show up. Max proved that he's just not that quarterback to just put team on his back and throw, downfield to bring his team back. Mm-hmm. He has to have that ball control football to win. He has to have the running game going.
Didn't need it against the Cowboys, did he?
What's that?
He didn't need it against the Cowboys.
Lost. We still beat them.
I know, but I'm seeing the 70-yard touchdown over your boy Diggs.
I mean, that was okay. If you give him a whole bunch of luck, you can win too. So there you go.
Yeah. No, but I agree. I thought that New England would win this game. And I thought that on the strength of that defense, they're a very, very solid defense. And obviously Bill Belichick, greatest coach of all time. But Mac Jones, I think he's been overhyped in the media quite a bit. He's played better than I thought he would, but he's not a guy that New England trusts, I don't think. They really try to lean on their run game and make things as easy and conservative as possible for Mac Jones, which, I mean, it's the right way to go. He's a rookie quarterback. You shouldn't expect too much out of him. But like you said, when you get down, you can't look to Mac Jones to bring you back.
Yeah. That's the thing. The way the Patriots played against the Bills is the same way the Colts played against the Patriots in this game. Right. They barely threw the ball.
Yeah, Carson had what, five
out of 12 for 57 yards.
Yeah,
and Jonathan Taylor went for 170. Yeah, so like very just let him, hey, just give him the ball every down. We'll win this game, and that's
Yeah.
very
So
much how they won.
what do you think about the Jonathan Taylor for MVP campaign out there?
I mean, he has to break the record. I think
Right.
to get consideration, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's really a position thing, right? Like the quarterback is the most important position in the league. It's the most valuable position in the league. So he's got to do something like you said, something extraordinary, something you've never seen before to be really considered. I don't think he's going to get there.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But yeah, so yeah, we already said the Colts probably, even though they got this win, probably still won't win the division. But do the Patriots hold on to win the division?
Yeah. I don't think that Buffalo is playing well enough. I don't think, and they're what 3 games ahead of Miami, I believe, or
Maybe two now.
2 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just don't. Essentially they'll have to kind of lose out. Basically, I
Yeah.
don't really see them.
But they
doing
do
that.
play the Dolphins the last game, so
Yeah,
might
but
need
I
something.
mean, they are still. I think they're still the Dolphins a little bit. I mean, they've had a great second half of the season, but I don't see a scenario where New England loses, the rest of their games essentially to let those other teams catch up. And Buffalo in particular isn't playing well enough to really take advantage of it if New England did have that kind of fall.
All right. Um, Next, we got the most important game of the week, as it's always the most important game of the week. It's always, America's game.
Because we already talked about Carolina, though.
No, we're not. It's about the Dallas Cowboys whooping that ass against the Giants, 21-6. And it's not an offensive, ass kicking. It was a defensive ass kicking because offense still not looking too sharp. Dak looked better than he has been the previous weeks. I think a lot of the struggles this week was just the receivers not doing too well. I mean, Amari Cooper just did not show up to the game. He had like 2 catches, and CeeDee Lamb had a horrible game. He had like 4 drops in the game. So I mean, Dak was putting it on him. He just wasn't catching it.
Right.
So and he just can't do that. Like that was the excuse last year that he was a rookie. It's like, okay, you can give him a pass, but you're not a rookie no more. Like you got to catch the ball, man.
Yeah. It's a thing that happens, right? I mean, it happened to Chris Godwin in the playoffs last year. He's he was in like his 4th year or whatever. It happens time to time. I wouldn't expect that to happen to CeeDee Lamb too many more times. I think that Dallas is going to take these last couple of weeks to really get the offense on the same page, right? To kind of gel back together. Because, I mean, just, again, ridiculously talented offense. You had Dak, one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Again, arguably, they have an argument as the best receiving core in the league, also with Cooper and Lamb and Gallup. I mean, even what was his name, Dalton Schultz. He's really stepped up a lot this year. Obviously, you got Elliott and Pollard in the backfield. So, I mean, they've got more talent than most teams would even dream of. And they just got to get on the same page, I think, mentally. And I think they'll get there over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, it hasn't been pretty recently.
Yeah. But what has been pretty is our defense. And that's what I'm so excited about because just looking at how great that our line looks, our front 7 just looks great. And Parsons doing his thing. Like he didn't, have like great numbers in this game, but just his impact, just his presence on the field, just.
I'm going to say pump the brakes a little bit. I mean, New Orleans defense held Tampa Bay to 0. Y'all let the Giants score 6. I wouldn't be celebrating too much about that.
I mean, hey, even at that, what I like is the turnovers. Like I've never seen my Cowboys turn the ball over so much. Like never in the past 20 years I've been watching them. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen turnovers. So that's why that's what gets me excited.
Yeah, that's a trait of a Super Bowl team,
Yeah.
being able to generate turnovers like that. That's kind of why I still, even though they haven't been playing great over the last few weeks, I still have them as my pick coming out of the NFC. So I'm really banking on them, getting the offense together there. But yeah, I mean, the Giants are the Giants. I mean, I believe they had, was it Mike Glennon, and then they even switched to Jake Fromm in this game. It's a mess over there. It's a mess.
Yeah.
And there's no end in sight either.
You can shut the hell up, Paris.
Couldn't score 40 points. Loser.
You loser. You root for a loser team. Loser.
I love fans that are like, yeah, well, you couldn't beat us worse. All right.
Cool. All right, man. We got the Cardinals against the Lions, and one of the most surprising upsets maybe this season. Lions whooping up on the Cardinals 30-12. Cardinals just seem to be trending downward in the last 2 games, man. It's 2 straight losses, and that's ugly getting dominated by the Lions. Like, that's not good luck.
It is. I mean, this kind of stuff happens. Like, teams get upset, right? Like, even the top teams in the league, but not like that. And I just want to say, I want to point out, I know Ferris is still in the chat. I want to remind him that I told him that Cliff Kingsbury is a fraud. I told him that a long time ago. He didn't want to listen. Maybe he's listening now. But, I would expect them to bounce back a bit. I don't think, they're not that bad, obviously. So I think they bounce back and they beat the Colts this week.
That's the thing, man. I thought they were going to bounce back last week, and they didn't.
I mean, it's hard to bounce back against the Dan Campbell and his knee chompers out there, man. Like, they're tough, right? They're tough. They don't lay down for anybody, okay? Which is ridiculous because that win knocked them out of the number 1 pick for the draft. Now that's going to Jacksonville. But yeah, I think DeAndre Hopkins had been banged up. Now they lost him for the rest of the year. Yeah. Kyler Murray was really banged up. He missed several weeks. He comes back, and he's kind of, oh my God, here we go.
Hey. No. I called Cliff Kingsbury a fraud. I called him a fraud.
No, you
I didn't like him, right?
You said he's a
no, you should. Hey, this season.
Oh,
I said
the internet is betraying.
Like, you got to give the coach a little credit. I gave him a little credit.
And guess what? I said, no, you don't. And this is why.
Hello, me? Nah, man, screw you, man. Screw you.
I don't know what you're doing.
Screw you. Whatever. I ain't letting this man slander my name. No.
I didn't slander your name. I slandered Cliff Kingsbury's name. And he's gone. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kyler, I think he was off track. I think he's still trying to get his back in his groove. But I think that, playing the Colts will go a long way towards getting them back.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's on that game. Next game we got Packers beat the Ravens by 1, 31-30. Should not have been this close. Because for the most part the Packers were winning handily until the final about 9 minutes left. Tyler Huntley, drives down the field. Scores a touchdown, cuts it to about a 7-point lead with like minutes left. And again, they let Tyler Huntley go back down the field, score another touchdown. Don't understand how you let this backup quarterback do that to you, but whatever.
And Tyler, I mean, look, he was having a great game. He wasn't great passing the ball. I mean, he was accurate enough, but they were throwing a lot of short passes, trying to let the receivers do some of the work, which is not the norm in Baltimore. But he protected the ball, and he picked up 70, 73, 75 yards on the ground as well. He scored 4 touchdowns. I mean, he went out there. I think, I said during the game, I think that Green Bay's defense kind of took the week off. They say, oh, Lamar's not playing, we can kind of mail it in. And Tyler Huntley went out there and said, no, you can't, until that last 2-point conversion that didn't go their way.
Which I don't agree with the call. I don't agree with going for 2 on that. Just take the points. So got to play defense anyways. I don't think relying on a backup quarterback is a smart move, especially in this offense. Like, why do you still have faith in this offense the way they've been playing? I don't get that. Like,
yeah. Personally, I would have kicked the extra point as well. But I don't hate the call because, if you kick the extra point and you tie it and you stop Rodgers from getting the field goal, you're going to overtime, and then you're depending on a defense that doesn't have any of their starters in the secondary. or you're depending on the offense with the backup quarterback, right? So like either way, it's probably
I
probably
just
didn't
think
have a
you
lot of
have more
confidence.
chances of something happening. Like maybe you get an interception turned over. You have more chances of things going right for you in overtime than just all on one play.
The problem is it's true for Baltimore because they have Greg Roman calling that one play, right? And what did he call? He called a sprint out to Mark Andrews. He rolled Tyler Huntley out to the right. So he essentially gave him one option on that play. And that one option had 3 Packers defenders around it. Hollywood Brown was open in the back of the end zone, but Tyler Huntley's rolling out and he's looking for Mark Andrews. And he's throwing that to Mark Andrews 100%. He didn't make a good throw. Andrews never really had a shot at it, and that's the end of it.
Yeah. So who wins that division? Who wins the AFC North?
I think it's going to be the winner of Baltimore Cincinnati this week. And if Lamar Jackson is playing, I'm taking Baltimore in that one. If Lamar is out, I think it's going to the Bengals.
I think he is out. I think they did say
no, I don't think. Did they say? I mean, I know that he hasn't practiced, but I don't think they've said he's out yet.
Okay.
I think they're kind of waiting, to see if he kind of, improves over the next couple of days. But I don't think they've actually said he's out. I know he didn't practice yesterday. He didn't practice today, so it's not looking great. But I think if there's any chance of him playing, he'll be out there. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I got the Bengals to win the division. I just think they're the best looking team right now, but that doesn't say a lot with all the other teams. Kind of like I don't know what to think. But with Lamar Jackson now, I don't think they can really go anywhere anyways with this offense. I mean, they just got too many injuries. I mean, what is it going to do even in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, right now, even going into this week, they have I think it's 13 players on defense that can actually play in this game. So the reserve list and IR have hit Baltimore really hard. Like I said, all their entire starting secondary is out. They're missing a couple edge rushers, a couple interior linemen. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a struggle for them, but with Lamar out there, you always have a chance, right? He's that kind of a player. He's a special player. If he's not out there, though, I don't think Tyler Huntley can keep it going. I think they take a L if it's Huntley.
I guess we got some gambling breaking news. Major line shift. Thanks. COVID strikes. Miami is now the favorite, and I got them +3 on much money bets. All right. Well, you have to keep an eye on that one. I was almost one I was going to take, but but yeah, I think that's all the games we got from last week. I think we can go into this week's set of games, and let me just bring it up real quick on this week's.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so we were talking about 49ers Titans, and on Saturday we got on Christmas Day we got depending on if they move the goddamn games again.
Yeah.
Browns, Packers. Who do you have in this one?
I got Green Bay big in this one, real big. Like they should have blown out Baltimore, right? They didn't. They messed around. They let Baltimore hang in there. They almost lost that game. They came that close to losing to Baltimore. So I don't think the defense will have that kind of performance again. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to go out there. I mean, he's going to go 30 plus again with Devontae and crew. And yeah, I think that Cleveland, whether it's Nick Mullins again, whether it's Case Keenum, whether it's Baker Mayfield, they're not going to be able to move the ball and score points.
Yeah, I agree with you pretty much 100%. Packers going to win big in this one. And honestly, with Nick Mullins or whoever was that quarterback, it didn't really look like it was that much of a difference, honestly.
It wasn't. Baker is not that guy. You see the report out there now is that they're going to be players for Deshaun Watson this offseason. Like they're going to make a play to get him. And it's just, Baker has been uninspiring, so
yeah.
Oh, well.
Let's see. Ian Book is the only active quarterback on the Saints roster.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, damn.
Yikes.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I changed my pick.
Is it
We'll get to
Taysom
that. We'll get to
time?
that game. I guess we know we'll pick that game right now. It's the Monday night game.
Yeah.
Just because we're talking about it. Dolphins, Saints on Monday night. Well, not that even changed my pick because I didn't really have faith in Taysom Hill either.
Right.
They barely won 9-0 last game. But yeah, the Dolphins are too much on a hot streak right now. So I'll take the Dolphins in this one.
Yeah, I was taking the Dolphins regardless in this game. It was a very impressive win last week. And even with the injuries, it's impressive to shut anybody out in the NFL in 2021. Like that's not the way the league is set up. They want points on the board. So getting a shutout is impressive regardless of who's out there. But I don't think that they can carry that over. Like you said, Miami was at 7 in a row now for them. I don't think the Saints are getting in the way of that.
Oh, all right. The other game on Christmas Day, we have Colts Cardinals. I think you already talked about this game, but who's going to win?
Yeah, I've got the Cardinals. I think they bounce back, from their last few games, just not looking great. I think Kyler has a big game. I think Carson Wentz turns it over at least twice, and the Colts go down.
Yeah, that's the thing. It really that's how good the Colts are. If Carson Wentz, makes mistakes, like that's pretty much what they're beholden to, and they tried not to limit him from even trying to make those mistakes in the last game. And I don't know how successful you can keep that going. I don't know how.
Right. Carson he'll find a way. He'll find a way.
Yeah. So, but I want to pick the Colts though. I want to pick the Colts. I think they can keep it going for maybe one more week. Because I just don't like how the Cardinals have been playing.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to bounce back. Like I said, I thought they were going to bounce back. I even bet on them to bounce back, but they just let me down. So I think they're going to be another letdown.
So you're holding a grudge.
Yeah. I am. And yeah, I mean, it's Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, he's going to, fall off at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Kind of been what they've been doing. So I think they're just going to do that again.
Yeah.
All right. Now for the most important game of the week, as it is every week, Washington at Dallas. Obviously, I got the Cowboys to win the division this week with a win against Washington because we're just going to dominate whoever has quarterback. I don't even know who the starting quarterback is. It's going to be Garrett Gilbert again, but
that's what
it really doesn't matter.
I don't know if Heineke's back, but Heineke sucks anyway. So it doesn't matter. It's definitely going to be Dallas. How much they win by is going to depend on Dak and those receivers getting on the same page. But yeah, I think I like this week to be a week where they gel and they put together a great game. I think Dallas puts up 30 plus on Washington and they win by a couple scores.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I think we're going to win big. Hopefully get the offense going. And yeah, just I don't know how they're going to score against us, against our defense. I'm going to definitely turn the ball over a lot. So that's what it's going to be. All right. Lions at Falcons. Falcons are the favorite in this one, I guess. But they're both kind of crappy. But who do you got?
I'm taking the Lions on the strength of Dan Campbell being a leader of men. Okay, and look, they love Dan Campbell down there or up there, I guess I should say. And they play hard for him, right? Even this late in the season, when they obviously have nothing to play for, and they shouldn't want to win games at this point. They're still out there playing really hard, trying to get wins for Dan, trying to get him back next season as the head coach. I think they go out there and they win a close one with Atlanta.
All right. The thing is about their fights, like a lot of the times, it's not like every single time, but one of the things is every time they do have a close game, they kind of get blown out the next week. It hasn't happened every single time, but
the
I think it's happened. I think it's happened enough. I think it's happened enough in these games, like first week to second week, they got close game, then blowout, and I think it's enough of a trend where I think the Lions lose this game. So
Is Atlanta capable of blowing anybody out?
I don't think they're gonna blow them out, but
Okay.
I think that I think it's
one.
just that the Lions just won't play well in this game. So I think I'll take the Falcons.
Okay.
All right, we got the big AFC North matchup, and like you said, it might be for the division. Ravens, Bengals, both 8-6. Who do you got?
Yeah, so like I said, if Lamar's playing, I'm taking Baltimore in that one. John Harbaugh, one of the key features of his tenure is that they play down to their competition, right? But also the other side of that is when they have a big game, they typically show up and play really well. I think that's part of what you saw last week against Green Bay, right? Nobody thought they had a chance. Green Bay is one of the better teams in the league. They're with their backup quarterback. They're missing a lot of starters on defense, and all of a sudden they put 30 points on the board and had a chance to win on that 2-point conversion. That's Baltimore all the time. They really fight in these big important games, and they kind of go to sleep on games like Miami and Detroit and things like that, right? So if Lamar's back, I think that they get the win. If it's Tyler Huntley again, I think they're going to run out of steam. The lack of depth on defense is going to catch up to him. He's not going to play mistake-free football again like he did last week, and I think they lose if it's Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, I don't think Lamar is going to play in this game. Don't think they're going to produce enough offense to outscore Joe Burrow. They just look too good over there in Cincinnati. Even without an offensive line, they still somehow get it done. So yeah, I'll take the Bengals in this one.
I'll tell you one thing that I didn't like also. Wink Martindale, the Ravens defensive coordinator, he said that they're not going to double Jamar Chase like they did Devontae Adams last week. And his reasoning was Devontae Adams is arguably the best wide receiver in the league. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. Jamar Chase isn't the best wide receiver in the league, and Joe Burrow is not yet a Hall of Famer, so we're just not going to do it. That could be just him, talking to the media, but if he actually sticks to that, that's going to burn them repeatedly in this game.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That's like their main weapon. I don't understand why you wouldn't double, just take it out. Like if the other guys beat you, then it is what it is. But like how you just gonna, you already know that's the known is that to stop them. But
yeah, you know who Jamar Chase is, and you need to respect who Jamar Chase is already at this point.
Yeah, all right, but that's what they want to do. All right, we got a big NFC matchup here. Rams at Vikings. Dalvin Cook, just today was not going to play. I was going to take the Vikings if he was playing this game because that is basically their offense is to go behind Dalvin Cook. And Kirk Cousins does put up he does put up some good stats. So I still think they have a chance in this one, even without Dalvin Cook. But I think that's having him out is still enough swing for me to go the other way, and I'll take the Rams.
So I don't think they'll miss Dalvin Cook as much as you think. Alexander Madison is a very good running back. I think he'll fill in nicely. But I think the Rams are just too much for him. And I think that Minnesota, when it's all said and done, is an under 500 team. And we know how Matt Stafford feels about under 500 teams. He loves to beat them. He doesn't like to beat winners. But if you are a loser coming up against Matt, then he turns into what they call Pat Statsford, right? And he'll put up a big game. And I don't think that Kirk is going to thrive against that Rams defense.
Yeah. All right. We got probably for the AFC East, Bills Patriots. I mean, the Bills got to get this win if they want a chance to win the division. So yeah, who you got?
I got New England. I think they're a better team. They're a better coach team, and I honestly, part of it is because I want to see all of the anger of the Pro Bowl snub kind of come back to bite them this week. Like Josh Allen just goes out and plays really poorly, but no, I think that the Bills are just too up and down. They're too inconsistent, and I think that New England's defense controls this game. and they get back on track and get a win, and they move one step closer to closing out that division.
Yeah, Billy, I wanted to take the Bills. But because the Patriots just did not look good last week. But I do think it's a week they can bounce back. They beat them last time. It was a struggle because they didn't throw the ball. They ran the ball. And it might not be as bad, obviously probably not going to be as bad as weather game as it was last time.
Right.
But I still think the Patriots can win this, and I think they will. All right. We got a pretty crap fest bowl here in the Jaguars Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a kind of who cares game, but who do you got winning?
I got the Jets. And again, this is one of those situations where I'm kind of picking the coach instead of the team. I like Robert Saleh. I think he was a good hire. There hasn't been a ton of evidence of that, but I think they're starting to kind of turn that corner a little bit. Late in the season, I think they've gotten off of the Zach Wilson train a little bit as well. So I think that they'll be able to go out there and handle the Jaguars. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, even Urban Meyer issues aside, one touchdown in the last 7 weeks is not great, right? So there's a lot of dysfunction in Jacksonville. There's a lot of problems with that roster, and I don't think that this is the week that they get it together.
I was gonna pick the Jets, and all these COVID, pretty much like a bunch of guys on Jets team just got on the COVID list right now, even including their coach.
But let me ask you this though: do any of those guys matter?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, they're
I
bad.
feel like they'll be able to replace them.
They're bad with them, so I don't know how bad they're going to be without them.
Yeah.
That just might be a complete disaster over there. So just given that, I'll take the Jaguars. Why not? And they're both that team. So I mean, but with all those missing guys, I'll take the Jags. All right, we got Ferris's Shitty Giants versus
is that their official name?
Yeah, the Shitty Giants. Against the Eagles.
Philly keeps it rolling pretty easily. I don't think this one's going to be competitive at all. I don't really have much else to say about the Giants. I think Philly keeps it going.
I think Jake Fromm started.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, man. I mean, look, these are the kind of games at the end of the season, if you're a fan of that team, these are the kind of games you look forward to where you're like, the Eagles aren't that great, right? And they're a 500 team. You shouldn't get
run the
blown
ball
out
every down. That's what
right. Yeah, but you shouldn't get blown out by a team like that. So you cross your fingers, you hope for a blowout, and you hope your coach gets fired.
Yeah. Giants just got no hope right now. They got nothing going for them for this season. At least they got, 2, first round picks in the draft next season. So they got that to look forward to. But yeah, they're just got nothing going for them in this game. And the Eagles, they've been they got a good win last week, so I think that continues this week. All right, we got your Panthers at home against the Buccaneers. You have a shot here.
This is, again, like I just mentioned, it's one of those games where you cross your fingers, hope your team gets blown out, and that your coach is fired on Monday morning. They're spiraling out of control. They don't. Matt Rule doesn't have any idea what he's doing. He's just throwing stuff against the wall, and just I think he's lost the team. He's certainly lost the fan base. He's lost the former players. Everybody's calling for him to get fired. I hope Tom Brady goes out there and lights them up, and then we can be done with Matt Rule.
I don't know how Brady's gonna look even with Brown coming back. I mean, he still doesn't get. I don't know if Mike Evans is back either.
I haven't heard. I don't think he is.
Yeah,
but I haven't heard for sure.
I still think he can struggle. I think your defense is still decent.
Yeah.
So he might still have not as good as a game. So I think the Panthers actually might have a chance here, but still gonna pick the Bucks. They're just that much better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go with them. And then we got Chargers at Texans. How big of a blowout is this one?
Listen, I mean, you say that, right? But the Chargers, they like to keep teams in games, man. That defense, they like to keep it interesting. That said, it's a pretty big blowout, I think. Justin Herbert goes out there and I think he kind of reminds you why he was in the MVP debate early in the season. I think he has a really big game. They win by 20 plus.
Yeah, I agree. Texans throwing out Davis Mills out there. Texans don't really play good against any other team except the Jaguars. Any other team just getting beat bad. So I think they get beat bad again against the Chargers. So we got Bears, Seahawks. I don't know who's even gonna watch that game, but who's gonna win it?
I've got the Bears. The Seahawks are another one of those teams that are kind of coming apart a little bit, I think. And they lost last week, and they're kind of their playoff hopes are done. There's the talk about Russell Wilson wanting out. So this may be the end of the Russell Wilson era. I don't think this is one of those teams that kind of fights to the end. I think this is more of a team who kind of checks out and just says, okay, let's get these last couple games over with.
Well, I got the Seahawks. I mean, they still played well against the Rams last week. They try to keep it close. They were doing it for like most of the game until the final minutes there. So I'll take them because I'm not gonna trust in Justin Fields to do anything. So he's just trash. He's a trash quarterback.
I don't know the exact date, but there's going to be a day when you will eat those words.
All right. Well, I mean, I already apologized once to you. I don't plan on doing it again.
You didn't plan on doing it the first time, Caleb. But there it was.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I think we got Steelers, Chiefs. Chiefs playing at home. I'm gonna take the Steelers.
Good Lord. All right.
You're
taking the Steelers to keep the North interesting.
Yes, I'm going to take the Steelers because, Tomlin always keeps his teams a winning team. So I'm going to trust in that. I'm going to trust in their defense to keep Mahomes. Like you said, Hill and Kelsey are both out. I think that's going to be a problem for him. I don't think they'll be able to produce as much offense as they usually do. I don't think they'll be as explosive as they and the Steelers got good D. They got a good D. They need to get after them. They can keep them low scoring. So I think they win ugly. It's gonna be an ugly game, and I think the Steelers can pull it out.
I'm going to take the Chiefs even without Kelsey and Hill. I think that the Chiefs have woken up. They started really slowly because they've been to the Super Bowl the past couple of years, the conference championship the last 3 years. And, for teams who are playing 4 titles, the beginning of the season can be kind of boring, kind of whatever. But, around midseason, you saw them kind of flip that switch. The defense started playing really well. The offense got back on track. They're playing for home field now. If they lose this game, they fall into a tie with the Titans and possibly the Patriots if they win their game. So I don't think that that's something that they want to do, obviously. And I think Pat Mahomes makes just enough plays to pull out the win against Pittsburgh.
All right. Got our Sunday night games, our final games, as we already talked about the Monday night, which is actually not even the Sunday night. Actually got switched. What is the Sunday night game?
Let me see. We've got
it's
Washington and Dallas is the Sunday night.
It was first.
So the last game is the Broncos and Raiders.
Yeah. All right, we got.
Man, I want to take the Broncos because my guy Teddy's over there, but I don't think he's going to be playing this week. He had a really scary injury last week. I'm not sure if he's cleared the concussion protocol, but he got carted out. They had to take the face mask off and everything. He spent the night in the hospital, so hopefully he's doing well. but I don't think he's going to be playing this week. So I'm going to be taking.
I think it's Drew Lock.
I'm going to be taking the Raiders because it's Drew Lock. And even though, listen, Derek Carr, I think Derek Carr seems like a great guy, and he seems like a great leader. But man, he just he wants so badly to be that guy on the field, and he just isn't, man. Like last week when he threw that interception against Cleveland, I was like, that's what you get. That's what you get for sticking with Derek Carr. They should, I know most people won't agree with this, but they should have gone to Marcus Mariota a long time ago. but I think they'll have enough to beat Denver with Drew Lock at quarterback again because it's Drew Lock.
Yeah, it is Drew Lock. But it's even, well, it just feels like, I mean, they barely beat the Browns with Nick Mullins out there. Like, I don't even know. Like, how you gonna even beat this team? And because at least the Broncos still have a good D. Like,
yeah.
So I still think Carr's gonna struggle, but I don't know. Somehow, Lock is gonna mess it up. And
that's why I'm counting on Drew Lock to neutralize that Broncos defense.
Yeah. So yeah, Raiders gonna get the win. They're at home, so why not? And there it is. Yeah. All right, that's pretty much all the games we got, and it's pretty much the show, man. Tell people where they can find you.
Okay, I'm one half of Lunch Break Hot Take. My brother Jose and I, we have a Wednesday show on YouTube. We stream live every week. You can find us at Lunch Break Hot Take. We cover primarily the Ravens and Panthers, but we talk all sports. We talk NFL, NBA, boxing, MMA, anything that's going on in the news. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, IG, TikTok at LBHT Show. And you can check out our website, lbhtshow.com.
All right. Just want to say shout out to Off the Break Podcast. Thanks for
What's
watching.
going on, Mikey?
All right, you can find me at NFL-Caleb.22 on Twitter and the rest of the social medias. You can find my betting show, Betting the NFL, on this channel right now. That's me and Derek Wesley. Me and him picking up 5 games each that we bet on and going over last week and this week's picks. So go check that out. If you want to make money, you can take our advice or you can not, but up to you. But anyways, thanks.
Well, and the articles on the
articles on letsgetreadynetwork.com. Thanks for reminding me. But like and subscribe, and thanks for watching, everybody. We might go on Tuesday coming up since there's no more Thursday night games, but I'll be talking with Ferris about that. So just keep an eye on that. But peace out.